why I thought forming a team was the right thing is I recognize starting in real estate, it's a lonely place. It can be very lonely. And it can be very competitive, which is fun. And I didn't see enough collaboration. And then in the environment in which I came from, you guys remember, vocational ministry, it was all about collaboration, community, serving. Real estate initially, I felt like it lacked that. I just couldn't see it. And I'm so grateful, and I tell this story. It was September of 2022. I was getting ready to leave real estate because I was doing great. Closing homes, most income I've ever made in my life, all the things. I say this, I feel like Jordan when he retired right in the middle of his prime, right? To go do base. That's what I felt like I was doing. I was gonna call it quits. He invited me to this conference in Texas, and I heard real estate professionals use language that was very similar to those who served in ministry, who served in nonprofit organizations, about community, serving, making a difference, making an impact. And then it clicked for me. Rather than make all the excuses that real estate is lonely, therefore it's not for me, why don't I be a part of the solution?
Welcome world, welcome family to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To the right of me, we got Mr. Military Man, Mr. Miles DeConical. How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling pretty good today.
You in suit, you got the military outfit on today. To the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest of 7 hills, Mr. E-Rock. How you feeling today, brother?
And I'm pretty good.
Love it. To the right of him, we got a special guest that loves to show his angles, my boy.
Come on, baby. It's always raining somewhere. You never know what happens.
Ricardo Zelaya. Appreciate you for being here, brother.
Honor's mine, man.
How you feeling this day?
Feel good. Feel good. I feel good. I'm in the presence of royalty, so I was here. Now I'm here. Appreciate it.
Man, a lot of things to talk about, man. You're a man of you wear many hats. Real estate. You're a leader. You're a father. You're a husband. And there's many things to get up out of this episode, man. And we can add a lot of value to the people, man. So I really don't want to waste any time. I want to get into it. So one of the key things that I like when we bring people up here, it's important for people to understand who you are in your journey.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about you, and I would like to learn more.
Yeah.
Met you through your brother.
Yep.
Your brother, Jonathan Hernandez, he's on our team. And through learning who he was, he said, I have a brother that's here. And I'm like, hey, you got a brother? I never met him. Met you, and I understand that you all have the same mom.
Yep.
Different dad.
That's right.
But you grew up in different households.
Yep.
All right, so I want to tell me a little bit about your journey, how that plays. Because again, I do have a brother right here.
That's right.
We have the same mom and different dads, but we grew up in the same household. And I understand the connection and what it means to me, what he means to me, and what our relationship means to me. So just talk about more so your journey,
man,
and how we get here.
So I love talking about this for anyone who would listen.
Yeah.
So exactly right. Brother and I grew up, same mom, different households, and that story is, as I understand it, and as I remember it. At the age of 4 or 5, my mom sent me over to my grandma's house, my dad's mom. And long story, really short, is mom wasn't necessarily prepared to raise me, I guess. And so she thought it would be more fitting, more suitable for me to move with grandma. And so grandma took me in and raised me as her own. On top of being a mom of 3, single mother, my grandma took on her grandson. So hero. Absolute hero.
Yeah.
And then, as you can imagine, man, the roller coaster of emotions as a 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up until, man, I mean, I still deal a little bit with some emotions that I quite haven't resolved. When I see my brother Jay being raised by mom, and she adores Jay, and yo, what about me? So I've always navigated those emotions, and not necessarily always in a healthy way, but again, here we are, and I'm super grateful for my grandmother who said yes to that call, if you would, and grateful for mom to be ever present in Jay's life, because Jay, as you guys know, is an incredible man, incredible father. He didn't always start off that way, and maybe cut that part out of this so his head doesn't get any bigger. But the truth is, man, she did a phenomenal job raising him. And
I mean, let me ask you this, bro. How many siblings did y'all have? So it was Jay, yourself, and who else?
So me, I'm the only one of my dad. And then mom has Jay, myself, Naisha, and an older brother named Junior. Junior, I've met maybe twice in my life. So we don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's all that I know of.
And did your mom raise the other siblings and stuff?
My mom raised Jay and Naisha.
Okay.
Junior was raised by his dad, their dad. And then I was raised by my dad and grandpa.
Oh, yeah. And the reason I asked that, because I just wanted to get a full picture because I can see your situation. It's like, okay, they were enough for you, but I wasn't. So going back in the space that we work in, we work with kids that are dealing with the same feeling.
Yeah.
The same trauma of, why didn't we just had a boy on the stage, more so talking about his father, like, why did you have me? You know what I mean? If you knew you weren't going to be here.
Yeah.
So you, as you're growing up, what helped you to, I guess, cope, or what helped you to get through, you know what I mean, that trauma or that pain?
So truthfully, it starts with, so I'm a person of faith, right? I believe Jesus Christ, so forth. So I think it started there. And it started with understanding that the God who loves me unconditionally. And so just because mom, maybe in my perspective or what I perceive to be true, that she didn't love me because of whatever reason, the God that I know, that I have a relationship with, does, regardless of what I do, how I look, whatever. So that was foundational for me. And then honestly, bro, it really further translated into like my relationship with my wife. Like there was just even actions that I would take before really truly experiencing freedom from that orphan mindset or that feelings of abandonment. I would try to like buy her love and just do things that I couldn't necessarily afford to do, act in ways that I knew weren't good, just to like create some form of distance, because I didn't want to feel that feeling of abandonment ever again. You know what I'm saying? So it goes deep.
Yeah.
And so for me, again, it was a faith, but then also recognizing that, man, the people around me actually do love me, and kind of settling in that.
Yeah.
So what I would say to the kids is just recognize that guys like yourselves and organizations like what you've built here are fundamental in helping these kids realize that they're loved regardless of their circumstances. They're loved by you guys unconditionally.
Yeah. Man, that was what I was going to ask. If you had a message, what would that be? So that's powerful. Yeah. And I kind of, even the transitions, because you mentioned your wife and you create a beautiful family of your own. I've heard my brother even say sometimes, even with he was going to be the person that his father wasn't, to his kids. Mm-hmm. To you, did you take on that same type of mindset with not like knowing your mother gave you away, that you were going to create something that your kids never felt what you felt?
That fueled that motivation. It fueled it absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely fueled it. And then even down to like, not just being in proximity with my kids, being in the same household, but being, I could remember instances where every now and then I would go visit mom on weekends. Mm-hmm. And I would remember, man, vividly, mom would say, yeah, I'll pick you up at Friday, 6 o'clock. Friday, 7 o'clock arrives. I'm literally waiting by the door, waiting for the door. Friday, 8 o'clock. Then it's Saturday. No, mom never showed up. So I said, that's another fundamental thing. It's like, if I say to my kids, I'm going to do something, be there, I'm there. Yeah. Nothing's going to stop that. So that's another fundamental thing, that I'm going to be a man, I'll be a dad, and I'll be a father of my words.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. To even hear that, bro, I mean, boy, I definitely remember those days there, but just to think, because when you say that I don't want to be, I think when I said it before, it may have been misunderstood from somebody else, from those, on the other side. They may not have understood the mentality that played on me as a kid. So to your point, it's just like, okay, well, you still think about how that hurt you, even being 33 years old.
Yeah.
That's a hurting feeling for somebody that you feel like you truly love and should truly love you, to not show up. So now that we have these kids, or now that we have our own kids, it's like, okay, I would never want them to experience that, to be able to be my age down the road and think what I'm thinking, because that still could bother some people who are not mentally strong enough.
Absolutely. And again, to your point, man, like though there's freedom, right? There's healing that's taking place, and counseling that's taking place. There's still those moments where almost like we resort back to childlike emotions. Like I resort back to that sometimes. I get moments of weakness, whether maybe I'm tired, stressed, whatever, and I can think, and I can get back to that place of feeling abandoned again, and like the consequence of those emotions. So it's still, man, it still exists today.
Man, you know what I mean? That's powerful stuff. But to transition a little bit, I'm thinking about, man, so you're a New Yorker.
Uh-huh.
All right, but you don't really give off the New York, you know what I mean, vibes to in a sense. When did you move from New York? Because you grew up there, right?
So at the age of 14, that's when I moved to Ocala.
Okay, so you've been in Ocala since 14.
Since I was 14 years old. I'm 33 now. Okay. So I've been here longer than I've been in New York.
Right, so you basically from Ocala.
So yeah, at this point, man, I feel like I can claim it. Ocala would say the same thing.
Because what I was going to ask is, any person I met from New York, they got a deep New York sense of pride. Like they're gonna let you know you're from New York and you don't get that off. Do you think that?
I started that way?
Okay,
bro, I promise you I did. I started.
Had to let everybody know.
Oh yeah. I didn't want to come out here.
Okay.
Again, I was 14 years old, raising my grandma. She retired. She said, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So honestly, I would say the first 2 years of being in Florida, I'm out of here. The moment I have a chance, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fast forward now, I mean, Ocala's home. I'm not going in.
How was that transition? Like coming from there, coming here, like you acclimated to the scale?
Oh, it was brutal. Yeah. Man, I go from the city, from the Bronx specifically, right, to Ocala, living in Marion Oaks, to go to high school in Denellen.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking. Yeah. I know, like cows and what does it smell? It smells like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. And so, it was tough. Honestly, it was tough.
That young man that came in high school, now he's in Denellen, obviously coming from reverse, being from Ocala, growing up, smelling them horses, seeing the horses, seeing what you're saying. I've been to New York before. It's inspiring. You know, every time you go there, the city lights, the buildings, everything inspires you. You came from it. You came from it.
Yeah.
Came to here. So what I'm trying to say, at that age when you came here, like what was your mindset? Were you a sports guy? Or you looking? What was your future aspirations at that?
So at that point, my aspirations were to get out of Ocala, get out of Denellen. That was it.
Yeah,
that was as far as I could see. That was my sole motivation. Then I got into obviously school, started making friends, started getting to sports, being decent at sports. I wasn't great at any one particular sport. Good coaching, bro. Powerful. We could talk about that. But good coaching, kind of speak life and kind of help me see this state that I call home, help me see it in a new light. That was huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then now, I could remember junior year, senior year of high school, now starting to see the future, now starting to visualize what college could be, now having an understanding of what I think it means to be successful, and some ambition there. But man, the first 2 years, freshman, sophomore, and my sole motivation was get out of here.
Get out of here. Yeah.
When you so in New York, so you came down with your grandmother because she retired.
She retired. Yep, 2005.
If I remember Jay's story, his reason to come from New York down here is different.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Honestly, bro, I don't remember his.
But so
remember his.
But the I guess the upbringing, because you would go back home with mom. So what was your living situation was I guess because Jay, he always say he was in the hood when he grew up. Was the situation
where I grew up in?
Was it the same?
It was the hood. It was a different part of the hood. So he grew up in the Throgs Neck Projects. I grew up in the South Bronx, Southern Boulevard. So it was similar, yet vastly different. Here's what I mean by that. It was vastly different in that the home that I grew up in, it was absolutely safe. Grandma created an environment of safety. Dad did the same thing. So I was almost shielded from truly what the surrounding was like, because grandma really just made it a point to kind of shield me as best as she could from that. But then I would step in those occasional weekends. I would go with Jay and go with mom. Mom was wherever she was working or whatever. So Jay was practically raising me and my older sister, and we were running the streets and doing whatever. So it was the environment, as far as outside, similar. In the home, vastly different. And then what I would do and how I would act, vastly different depending on where I was.
Did you crave, so, because some people grow up in situations so it's like you were being deprived of the life you should be living in a sense. Some young men, I've seen this before. They will be in a better situation, but they see everybody else is in that, and they're like, that's where I'm supposed to be. That's what I want for myself. Are you in that same way? Like, think you were missing out because you weren't able to live that lifestyle?
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, what's great, I'm so glad you said that, because in moments of health, even now, I think back and I think about mom, for example. I'm going to go back to that. And as a way to justify that decision she made, I say, you know what? Maybe mom knew the path that my brother was going to experience and the hardships he would experience being in the streets. There's Ricardo, there's a way out for him. So I'm going to make that sacrifice and send him with grandma. So you're saying that because that environment, bro, the projects where he was, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild. And mom did the best she could, worked a lot. So he was alone a lot. So in my mind, I'm like, in moments of health, when I'm, feeling gratitude, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that foresight, mom, for recognizing that you probably couldn't do all that you knew that my grandma could do. You know what I'm saying?
What age did that? So like, obviously it was in your latter years.
Yep.
But I guess when did you start recognizing?
I would say, bro, honestly, maybe about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago. And I can remember vividly, me and my brother were in the car. It happened with my brother, where we were just talking about, man, how we grew up and why and all these things. And that realization hit me. We were I think we were actually on our way to go see our mother in Homestead, Miami, the Miami area. I think she had a heart attack at that time. She was having health issues. So he and I in the car, and we were just talking. And it was at that moment, I think I realized, this could be the reason. She's never expressed that's the reason. But that was my way of like having a little bit more peace kind of about it.
Yeah, I only ask that because, again, when you speak about the kids, there are numerous kids that we hear you, man, and you try to get them to understand, and it's like, man, at what? Because even for me,
perspective shift.
Maturity. Yeah, and I get to that point, maturity with perspective. I guess they'll realize, some of the things that the mentor said, people that were being positive role models in their life, they're like, that's what they were. This is what they meant. So that's the only reason why I asked, because again, it's just like through some of the things that I, think on or thought about then, same situation. I know, he got to experience both sides of it too, coming over there to my dad's side of the family. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, this is why they kept me from going over there. Even when we got older, hanging around certain family members or certain friends that our parents didn't want us to be with. I didn't understand it then. I thought they were just mean parents. But, to your point, as I got older and matured, then it's like, okay, now we see why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
And I love it, man, because everybody's journey or all the things we're talking about, it makes you who you are today. And I kind of want to get to the man you are today. Yeah. So as far as, being a real estate agent, a father, let's talk about your journey into real estate.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So why did you choose this path? What got you here? Was there another thing that didn't work out and push it? Because my journey is, I'm in the seat I am today because my football dreams ain't worked out. So it's like that didn't work out. So I had to be plan B. But now I look back at it and God didn't allow those things to work out for me to be who I am. For yourself, what was your path?
Yeah, man. So the interest in real estate started when my wife and I bought our property in 2012. We got under contract to buy a new construction home in 2012. And so it's that process piqued my interest. Okay. 2013, 2014. Yeah, 2013, we moved in the house. I'm just kind of playing back here. I started to dabble in what would it require to get licensed, be a licensed real estate professional. Then God calls me to vocational ministry. I started working for a church, big church here in town, 2014. 2014 up until early 2020, actually 2019, vocational ministry, pastoral team, so on and so forth. My wife was getting ready to step into nursing school, so she was not going to work. She was going to do that full time. And I said, how can I make some extra income? So I started dabbling into real estate and pursued getting my real estate, finishing the pre-license course. And then I was told, I was honest about it, like, hey, church that I'm working for, I'm all in here. I love this ministry. I'm doing this, but hey, as a way to supplement, I'm going to step into real estate. Fast forward, I was sat down in an office and told I couldn't do both. I couldn't do real estate. It was viewed as a conflict of interest. So I put that on pause. Yeah. And so end of 2020, I transitioned off of that team, December of 2020. And then January, I started all up again, start preparing for the state exam. And then March, I get licensed, March of 2021. Yeah. I get licensed in real estate.
So would you say you was forced into real estate?
No, I would say, I was freed to go into real estate.
Yeah. And the reason I ask that because it's usually, and now it's a cool thing. It's like a catchy thing. Everybody wants to do it. But what I'm hearing in that time, you're looking for something that frees you. So it's not like you real estate. Like I want to be real estate. How do I go to real estate? It's like it was like an option of what can free my time, time. And then you started. Then they say you got to go. So now let's do it.
Yeah, so it started with a peak of interest. Like, man, I enjoyed this process. I love people. Like I can do this. I can hold the conversations. I can be a part of this journey. So it started with a peak of interest. Then it started with, all right, I know I have the people skills to do it. It requires incredible people skills, right? Eddie knows that. We all know that. And it requires that. I could use that skill of people to help supplement, because I still want to be, at this time, I still want to be in vocational ministry. I still want to serve the community at that capacity. I wanted to do that. I wanted real estate to be an act of using my gifts and then earn some income. It's really what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it. I was told no, I couldn't do it. Yeah. And so then 2020 circumstances, I left that role and said, you know what, now it's the time to do it. Yeah. Now it's the time to step into real estate.
Yeah. So talk to me about, I guess, that time of getting into it. Yeah. So how was it? Yeah. Obviously, the man, I love telling this story. Even the man's like, so my brother now, he's here with us, but he does real estate. So you know what I mean? So it's juggling the two. You jump right into it. So, so let's talk about that.
So I get licensed in March. I passed the exam after a lot of tries, bro. And I'm no dummy. That jump was hard. Right? Come on, man. Listen. Yeah. So passed it in March. I didn't start full-time, though, until May. I had gotten a full-time job because I was in this just transition from being vocational ministry all those years, December 2020. February, I get a full-time job. March, I get licensed, So I was trying to do both, whatever. Fast forward to May, looked to my wife and said, baby, something's got to give. Working full-time, but I'm missing out. I feel like I'm missing out on an opportunity to do this real estate thing. So I resigned that full-time gig and jumped into real estate full-time. However, with a little caveat, I still wanted to maintain afloat, right? So I had probably 5 side hustles.
Right.
So I would imagine this. I was doing Uber, right? Uber Eats, Bike Squad, Instacart. My brother it's mobile detailing. I was helping him every now and then. All while dressed up, because you never know. Yeah. Yeah. So I would roll up, pick up groceries on Instacart, which is, by the way, one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. Dressed like, dressed. Yeah. What the, then I would get this. And you must be filling in for a driver who got sick or something, because you don't belong. Like, what are you doing? But I did all that to keep my family, keep the bills paid, and all in preparation for that phone call, that appointment. Yeah. So I was always ready. I was doing all those things, and I wouldn't take it back. I would do it. If I had to do it all over again, I would. Yeah. And I would follow that same path. Yeah. Because I learned so much through all those other things, though. Further sharpened the people skills. Got to hear stories, bro. It was pretty powerful. Yeah. But it was no easy process.
Yeah. I'm trying to even thinking now why you're saying it. So it's because that's a teacher moment, and then that whole situation right there, we can't run by it. So in a sense, you having real estate on your plate, you understand that there's something that needs to be done in the midst of you to get there.
Sure.
A lot of people lose sight in that because I want this thing and I want it now. but I'm not going to do what it takes in the moment to get there. So a lot of people miss that. You know what I mean? So in this moment where you decided to grind, to figure it out to get there, while others may sit back and whine and say, why me? What was it in you that made you choose that route?
Well, where there is people, there is opportunity. Where there is people, there's opportunity. All of those side hustles, people were involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I viewed that as ways to serve people, because again, think about the context of that timeline too. 2020, 2021, we're still kind of navigating COVID. There's still, just folks who are not going to grocery stores. Specifically, I try to do a lot of my work in the villages, a lot of older demographic. So I started to then now realize not only is this helping my pocket a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but it's serving, it's an opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
So, and there's opportunity to help people. So where there's people, there's opportunity. And so that's what I did. You just viewed all of those opportunities. Though, yeah, I would have loved to have a March, got licensed, and all of a sudden I got four transactions closed. Yeah. I would have loved that to be the story. Wasn't the story. I'm not going to mope about it. I'm going to embrace what I got in front of me and view it as opportunity.
Yeah.
More connections being built. So for anyone who, regardless of industry, and I would say this to whoever would want to listen, regardless of industry that you're in, where there is people, there is opportunity. Don't view it as a frustration. View it as an opportunity.
Yeah. Bro. So I'm over here laughing because, like you're saying, being ready, man. Bro, you know, mm-hmm. We talk all the time about just being able to be ready when somebody calls. Right, bro. That's part of the story.
That's right.
But listening to the whole story from the beginning of your childhood, then you wanted to pursue real estate.
Yep.
God's people try to stop you,
mm-hmm.
but you still pursued it after that.
Mm-hmm.
How many times? Well, you didn't say how many. You don't have to say how many times you took the test. Don't worry.
Yeah. 5, by the way. I'll tell the world. It's all right.
I beat you by 1.
There you go.
But even in that, trying to pass the test, and you were stopped those times before,
right.
But you kept pushing forward. Everything that you've been experiencing from childhood up until you finally getting your license.
Yeah.
Not even after getting your license, you're still dealt all these. You're doing these different jobs. A lot of people don't know what I do on the side as well. So I'm a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I do work another job, and I still do real estate.
Right.
So there's still a part of you that's building up. You've been built for what you're enduring right now.
Mm.
Then you have kids.
Mm.
You just said the youngest one. I'm sure he's seeing what's going on every day as far as what dad is doing. But that's still a part of you that's even from your childhood up until now.
Yeah.
The kids, the people that see you, that know your true story, everything that you're doing, bro, you're showing them what it may take in order. And I think that's what Jamie was pointing at. You're showing them that no matter what I'm faced with, I'm going to get it done. And I think, bro, that's powerful in itself, because you get a lot of people, to Jamie's point, that when they're faced with a difficulty, and when somebody try to stop them from something that they truly want to do, they stop. Self-motivation. How bad do you want it?
Well,
what are you going to talk to yourself? Are you going to talk yourself through? Because a lot of times, sometimes it's your family.
True.
It's people that's closest to you that'll knock you off that pivot of trying to get to where you ultimately trying to be.
Right.
Whether you got people on your team that feel like you think that's on your team, but they're really they want to knock you off. But there's still that part of you that's going to continue to push. Right now, for me, just to hear, because hey, man, we doing same thing as far as real estate, but just to hear it and just to know, like, bro, you continue to push forward, and bro. So hats off to you, bro. Because I know it's not easy. So
yeah. You know what? And the truth of the matter is that I think, part of it is some of our DNA, if you would, like our makeup. Some of us have a little bit more perseverance than others. Mm-hmm. However, all of us, and you guys know this to be true, all of us need people, community, right? So I think back again, grandma modeled for me perseverance. Single mother of 3, then taking me on, older in age. We lived in South Bronx. She lived in Lower Manhattan, or she worked in Lower Manhattan, right? About an hour and 15 minutes of public transportation to and from every day, Monday through Friday. She hustled, right? She worked. She didn't complain. She retired, paid her house in cash as a cashier at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Modeled it.
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And so, and again, in your context of your kids, maybe their upbringing is not ideal, if you would, but they got people in their corner like you guys and the organization you built to model for them perseverance, to model for them their capacity, because their capacity is well beyond what they can even imagine and comprehend. Sure. You can remind them of that. Power of community and power of people, man. Yeah. Having people in your corner. We all got them. That's dope. A lot of us don't think so, though. Because, right, we go through those feelings and seasons of loneliness and nobody. But, yeah, you know, y'all there and you'll show up. You're present. I love it.
Hey, man, so let's get into some real estate insight real quick, man. Yeah. So I'm a guy right now. I'm jumping to a season where, you know, about looking to purchase a home. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. So even in and it's not just for me, anybody that may be watching, what are some things you should be considering right now? If you're out here thinking about purchasing a home, or, you know, if you're jumping into the space for 101, what are some things that a person should consider?
This is going to be so counterintuitive to a lot of agents, and just really honestly, bro, with real estate agents is, I'm going to start this. A lot of agents, when speaking with renters, they communicate like renting is a sin. Okay, and let me say something here real quick. Especially for those who may be watching who are renters. Renting is an opportunity for you to buy time, to get your financial disciplines in order so that you can buy a home. Okay. What I don't want to continue to see is folks who lack financial discipline be pressured into buying when they don't have the necessary disciplines to buy and to sustain that home, all because our industry is painting this picture of renting is the worst thing in the world you can do. Long term, sure, I agree with you. Long term, not a great thing. But please have financial disciplines. You hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that is so counterintuitive. I mean, probably going to get hate from other agents. But I'm just, what I don't want to continue to see is well-meaning, hardworking individuals feel pressured to buy a home. They do those things. They overextend. They get into this home. Their mortgage payment is what it is. Their utility bills are what they are. They don't realize now that their owners, something breaks, who's responsible? The owner, you. And they don't consider the cost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be the agent that I may lose a deal right now because I communicate or I coach someone into not buying yet. Keyword there, yet. Help them get their financial house in order so that when they do buy a home, it's a blessing and not a curse.
Yeah. How do I know when I'm ready? So in a sense, in a lot of things, you know what I mean? If the money, if you say my down payment is this, I got that, I should be ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's what somebody may be assuming. So what are some things that should be in order before there
are healthy ratios as it relates to take home pay, what comes to your pocket, versus what your mortgage payment should be. Ideally, you want to stay in at 25, 35 might be stretching it, but 25 to 35% of your take home to your mortgage. Anything beyond that, what's going to happen? You're going to be so financially strapped, your margin will be depleted, right? There's this expression, and Eddie, correct me if I say this wrong, like say it wrong or backwards, but you'll be, what it was, a house poor, so you'll be something like
the house poor. What's name rich? I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got this incredible home, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's no fun.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the kind of stuff. So understanding ratios and understanding like they're healthy ratios. You want to live a life that you maintain financial margin.
Mm-hmm. And you said it was the in-pocket ratio to mortgage. What was it?
Your mortgage payment.
Mortgage payment. Yeah. All right. So let's break down what's a mortgage. Just for somebody may not know what a mortgage is. A mortgage.
So you buy a home, right? Most of the time, most of us borrow money to buy this home. So the mortgage consists of what's called a principal payment The money you pay goes towards the balance you owe, interest, taxes, and insurance. It's called the PITI. That makes up a mortgage payment. Okay? So that mortgage payment, ideally, is not going to exceed that 25 to 35% of your take-home pay.
Yeah.
Let's do so like a ratio. So in sense of if I make 50,000 in the, you know what I mean? So what mortgage shouldn't I exceed? Like what doesn't make sense for me as a home buyer? Like what are you giving us?
So let's do this. Let's do 60,000 just because I know that's about 5,000 a month, right? 5,000 a month. And let's just hypothetically say 5,000 as your take home. And 25% of 5,000, man, you put me on the spot doing math. You got me? 25%
of 5,000.
Yep, of 5,000.
I like it. Let's take our time. Let's do some real. Let's help somebody.
Listen, what would that be?
My calculator first.
Oh, the math was just like, that's elementary. Yeah, right. Well, I'm sorry.
No, we go.
12.5.
12.5. So 1250 to that 35% window, right? So 25 to 35%. Okay. And you're like, but Ricardo, how in the world in today's climate are you going to be able to do that? Right? The more you finance, the more that mortgage payment's going to be. So how do you reverse that? Well, maybe you rent for that additional year, save up more money so that you can put a little bit more of a down payment so that the amount you're financing, the money you're getting from the bank is less. And in essence, would drive that mortgage payment down even further.
Yeah.
What if the home that I want, it may not be there?
There's going to be a home for you, and when the time is right. Because the truth of the matter is, there's homes that hit the market every day.
Yeah.
You understand?
Real estate never sleep. So to your point, it may not be the home that you're looking for at the moment specifically, but it's going to come around.
Yeah. It's going to come around.
I'm pretty sure y'all see people that just fall in love with a home. Like they walk into it and like, this is my home. And how do y'all deal with that person, I guess, in a situation like this? If you get through the process and then the math ain't mathing and you got to say, hey, bro, this ain't.
But the truth of the matter is I can try and coach them all day long. It's their decision.
Yeah.
But here's what I know. That I've done all that I can do. The decision's on the buyer. I can sleep at night. Because I said all that I can say. I've tried to coach them. I try to help them understand the full picture, the full financial picture. And if they decide to pursue, that's their decision. I can't control that. And at that point, I facilitate the process. But I know that if I coached them and I led with honesty, right? I didn't say you can afford one. I know you shouldn't be buying this house, but the banks allow it to up to 45, 50% of their take. They allow it. Right. But I would say, hey, just keep in mind all the other costs involved in home ownership. It's on you, though.
Yeah.
At that point, I said all that I can do. I've done all that I can do. It's not my decision. You know what I'm saying? That's for me. I think your question was, what would you say, like, so as far as advice?
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I do it. Not everybody adopts that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That philosophy.
No, I mean, truthfully, that's where I'm at with it too. I sit in the coaching meetings with my people, and not throwing any names out there, but you sit in the meeting and then it's like, they tell you it's the salesman, you are a salesman at the end of the day, but I want to make sure, because if I go to a grocery store and I see you down the road after I sold you a house, I want to make sure you ain't trying to knock me in the head with a can of beans or something, because
exactly,
you feel like I set you up. So at the end of the day, regardless of how much the home is, I'm gonna, if mom, dad, and daughter always show up to the showings, or we go see 3 homes and all 3 of you there, I'm gonna speak to all 3. I'm not just gonna pull dad to the side and say, hey, you got this, or don't worry about what your wife say. I want to make sure that even now to the daughter, I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. I know the daughter isn't gonna financially help, but at the end of the day, it's what everybody loves, because at the end of the day, it's a family in a home you're going to be living in for the next X amount of years. So I understand where you said, where you're coming from as far as, the what you would tell somebody. Yeah. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you is right.
That's viewing the health of the relationship beyond the transaction.
I like that.
All the real ones, the real agents who actually care about people, like Eddie does, like what he just expressed. That's who are sustained in this industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it gets old. Those who just do it They have a commission breath is what we call it.
Yeah.
Commission breath stinks, man. You can only endure that or kind of do that for so long.
Yeah.
Well, what current trends are you seeing right now? So if you obviously we live in the day of social media, so it just matters who page you're on. Some people say don't buy now. Some people say buy now. You know what I mean? So even local, we could go down to a local. We live in Ocala, Florida. Is one of the top places to move to right now. So many people are coming here. So like, what are you seeing? Should somebody buy right now?
The time to buy is now when you're ready to buy.
And I say like a trick question. So what you just did, like you just try to trick me or something? What'd you say?
Say it again.
The time to buy is now when you're ready to buy. Back to my point. Folks who can't afford it shouldn't buy a house. So I should wait to sit in the market. If you got the money, if you got the down payment, if you got the ratios are where they need to be and it's healthy, when's the time to buy? It's now.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
And I guess,
but you can't afford it.
That way, I had to put that disclaimer in there.
I'm making it very clear.
And I guess where it makes sense, because you have some people saying, you hear it all the time, oh, well, the interest rates are high right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they just went down.
Yeah,
exactly. Is that still the time to buy?
Exactly.
Do you have the money to buy? Because regardless if those interest rates are at 6.5 or 5.9, do you have the money to buy, and will you be able to sustain it for the next 15 to 30 years?
So what I'm hearing is that the timing is dependent on the person.
Yes.
The time.
Yep. If you try to time the market, it's gonna get you. Yeah. You're not gonna beat it. Yeah. You're not gonna beat the system, if you will. To try to time the market. You're not.
Even though I'm here locally, so and this just came to mind as we see Ocala growing and so many people moving here. What do you, as a real estate person, I'm pretty sure you love, like this is like a great time. Mm-hmm. So what do you see? I guess as for what we say the future of Ocala when it comes to just real estate.
Yeah, continual growth. And my hope is that the infrastructure around it will be able to catch up and so it's sustainable.
Yeah. And they're building everywhere, bro.
They are building everywhere. They're building homes everywhere.
Yeah, homes everywhere. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the roads to catch up.
Yeah. Now we'll get that. Hey, that's outside of your jurisdiction.
That's outside of my jurisdiction. I know. Listen, I'll pick up a shovel. I'll do something. If you need my help, city, county, whatever, I'll do it.
Hey, I know somebody that knows somebody.
Come on, man. Let's go.
But now, what I want to get into, man. So you are a leader. Mm-hmm. So I've seen you since I met you. You start, formulating a team. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to get to why your team is called the Table Team. Mm-hmm. I see you start putting a group of people. So it gets back to the relationship thing. You said being around people together. Mm-hmm. Kind of get into why. You as a real estate thought it was important that you had a team, and in the midst of creating that team, how did you go about, creating it, like culture and all these different things? What was the most important pieces to creating that team?
Yeah. So I'll back up as to why I thought forming a team was the right thing. Mm-hmm. Is I recognize starting in real estate, it's a lonely place. It can be very lonely. And it can be very competitive, which is fun. And I didn't see enough collaboration. And then in the environment in which I came from, you guys remember, vocational ministry, it was all about collaboration, community, serving. Real estate, initially, I felt like it lacked that. I just couldn't see it. And I'm so grateful. And I tell this story. It was September of 2022. I was getting ready to leave real estate because I was doing great. Closing homes, most income I've ever made in my life, all the things. And I say this, I feel like Jordan when he retired right in the middle of his prime, right? To go do baseball. That's what I felt like I was doing. I was going to call it quits. He invited me to this conference in Texas, and I heard real estate professionals use language that was very similar to those who served in ministry, who served in nonprofit organizations, about community, serving, making a difference, making an impact. And then it clicked for me. Rather than make all the excuses that real estate is lonely, therefore it's not for me, why don't I be part of the solution? Why don't I be part of the thing that I want to see, the collaboration that I want to see? And so that's what started this idea of table. What happens at dinner tables?
Gotta sit down.
You sit down and talk. You you share, you have a good time, you have a meal together, you wisdom is shared, right? I mean, laughter, all those things, those formidable, like those core memories oftentimes happen around the table, around dinner table, lunch table, whatever context. So for us, I'm like, all right, there's something about this table and the significance of what a table represents that is a core value of me as an individual, and I know will be a core value of anything that I do moving forward. Mm-hmm. So fast forward to the table team. One of our sayings or phrases is we help our people get from the closing table to the dinner table. And a real success metric of ours is truly after closing, are we invited to our client's home for a meal, and vice versa. If we extend an invite to Eddie's a client, if we extend an invite, Eddie, congratulations on closing, it was an honor. I'd love to take you and your family out to dinner. And Eddie says, no, man, I'm good. Mm-hmm. That's a metric, that's a negative metric for us. Yeah. We didn't do a good enough job of building that relationship beyond the transaction, and I'm not okay with that. Yeah. And so that's, the table team is people who are aligned with those principles, those values. They have a desire to go beyond the transaction. Yeah. Then, I think what maybe you alluded to, Jamie, earlier was connecting tables. Mm-hmm. That's same idea. Mm-hmm. Regardless of industry, you're an entrepreneur, you're a builder of something, it can be lonely. Am I right? Yeah. You build cut different. It started off probably feeling like, man, maybe you didn't get the support that you were hoping initially. And maybe you couldn't run ideas off of the masses because no one really understood your industry. No one understood what it's like to build a healthy mentorship program in the city of Ocala, right? Feelings of loneliness. So what could I do to help those who maybe have felt what I felt? Yeah. Loneliness, not recognizing that I don't have all the ideas and I can learn from others. How can I create a space for people to be able to just see and feel collaboration? Mm-hmm. So that's what connecting table.
Yeah, but before we go to connect to the table team, so the people that are in the team, did you sought out these people that came to you, or you know what I mean? So again, in that piece, because I think culture and team that's one of my favorite things. Again, been a part of sports teams. Yeah. I just love that facet of it, and I want to know. And I've been around you guys. I've been to the connected tables. You guys were at our event, and I can see that family piece was there. Sure. How did you go about creating it?
Honestly, so I'm glad you said that about did I seek after. That's actually one of the things that I have made a statement personally that I won't go out and recruit. I'll let whoever has interest based on what they observe, what they see, how we kind of carry ourselves. If they want to come and have a conversation, they can initiate that conversation. I'll be happy to share what we're about, what our core principles are. But I don't go out and chase. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that. And again, that's just I'm not saying that's a right or wrong thing, but for me personally, that showcases the people who have interest in having this conversation with me. They observe something of importance. They observe those principles that have an impact on them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's that they're curious. Mm-hmm. That curiosity will I think can lead to something special. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's to answer that question.
Yeah, I like it. So in going to the connected table, so I've been a part, and so there's obviously you have a mindset of community. Yeah. How's that? Because now you're trying to reach out. You're building a team that's helping people. Mm-hmm. Now you're trying to give a platform to where all business leaders, we can come and we can learn. I went to one of your connected tables, and I forget the gentleman's name, but he was talking about team building. Mm-hmm. He had a course for helping people come and team.
Working Geniuses, Tom Fox.
Yep. And I learned a lot from being there. So again, I can now you have a platform for leaders to come and learn. Yeah. So why did you, as a real estate, you got plenty of things you could be doing. Mm-hmm. Why did you think it was so important to create that platform for people to come together for this time out their day to be with you all?
There's too many great people, great in their industries, quitting for the sole reason of loneliness. That's got to stop.
Yeah.
Too many great people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to remove that do everything that I can to remove that from the equation. Mm-hmm. Remove that reason for not enduring in their respective industry.
Yeah. I love it. And going back to, we definitely can't spin this whole thing and not get to the family piece of it, man. So being a real estate guy, being a husband, being a family man, how do you juggle the demand of all these? Because all of my jobs, in a sense.
That's right.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
How do you juggle the demand of all those things?
What I've recognized pretty early on before real estate is life's a marathon.
Mm.
For me, I almost think life's more like a relay race. What do I mean by that? I'm sprinting, relay race, and you guys are athletes. I'm not an athlete. You guys are athletes. Relay race, run, and then what?
Hand it off.
Baton it off. And what do? The person who handed off the baton.
You
Rest. Right? So in life, there's seasons where I'm sprinting, I'm running, busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I recognize that those moments of rest, of respite, that I'm going to prioritize the family. I'm going to prioritize home. And so my wife and I, we're in alignment in that. And so we're in communication. Baby, I'm entering into a busy season. All these closings, all this event, this. I'm going to be running. You may not see me as often as you would like. I know, because you think I'm beautiful, baby. I know. But it's not going to always be that way. There are going to be moments of rest. So that's how I do it. It's just honestly straight communication, and then recognizing there are going to be moments that are a little bit slower, and I'm going to take full advantage of those slower seasons, those slower moments, and prioritize the home.
Yeah, man, I love this because I always joke. So we got one married, you're engaged, man. And, you know what I mean? I'm in a situation where I'll be there soon.
Yeah.
And so hearing things like that, because we can hear that type of wisdom, but it's not like when you get it. You get what I'm saying? When you get in, and you have to deal with that day-to-day demand of just having to be that 100% for everywhere you go. So to hear you say that's beautiful. Is there ever a time you struggle with it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
My wife will.
They always.
She knows it. She knows it. I mean, honestly, man, there are moments where I could be sitting at the table and gotta pop my laptop open, or I pop my laptop open, but I really try not to stay there.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, man. I mean, I don't get it right.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, man, my desires and a lot of the boundaries that I'm working to set in place are to get it right.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, like, I use this language of grace. Like, have a little bit of grace for yourself too. You know what I'm saying? In those moments where you don't get it right, you maybe work too much and you miss out on important personal things, kids or whatever. Yeah. Have some grace for yourself, but don't say that, it's all good, I'm just gonna. No, you gotta continually work to improve.
Yeah. As we wrapping up, man, one thing I want to know, I want to get in the head, say, we've been talking about vision a lot.
Yeah.
And having a vision, obviously being able to see, into the future, you know what I mean? Not sight, but vision.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to get into your brain about some goals, man. Some goals you got for the future, maybe 5-10 years. Like, what do you see yourself? Obviously, your real estate, is it still in the same spot?
Yeah.
Obviously, I know it's some elevation in there. So
Right.
what are your goals?
Man, I, what I see is a team of individuals as part of, let's say, the table team and the table brand, because it's beyond real estate, beyond really having significance in their respective communities, regardless of what industry they're in. Okay, so let me use less philosophical terms. Ricardo and the table team, and I envision the table brokerage. I'm about to trademark that so y'all don't steal it. So it's this brokerage of individuals who are serving the community, who are helping folks buy, sell, rent homes, but doing it with such an incredible mission that if the table team ceases to exist, that the community will feel it.
Yes.
That's the kind of impact I want us to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cut Different ceases to exist, you can be guaranteed Ocala won't be the same.
Yeah.
That's the kind of impact, for sure, that I want to have. Beyond real estate, just the idea of this table brand and all the other things we're trying to build. If we are gone, I want Ocala, Marion County, surrounding areas to know that we're gone. Yeah. Not in a way that's egotistical. You hear what I'm saying? Like, but that we're doing so much to make a positive difference. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what impact is. That's just like, as I'm hearing you say it, I start thinking about the, what's the chart when they got AE and all that stuff on there? Periodic table.
Periodic table.
So, you know what I mean? Just like water, H2O. If the H is gone,
right.
If the H is gone, then you understand that there's no water. You get what I'm saying? So that, to a sense, that's what you're saying here. You're trying to say if you were missing, then the community won't be the same. So it's not equal to this. You're just stating facts.
Yeah.
And to get there, so there has to be somebody in the driver's seat to reach the vision that you just laid out. So I kind of want to know, and this is my last question for you. How do you stay motivated for all of this to get to that point that you're speaking about, even to get to where you're at now?
Yeah.
Like, how do you stay motivated? What motivates you?
Yeah, you know, a big part of that is there does reach a point where one has to be self-motivated. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's a mindset you learn, you kind of grow into, you step into, if you kind of learn those things, listening to great coaches or whatever. But really and truthfully, at its core, my family, my wife, my kids, that's kind of that added fuel that keeps me going. You know what I mean? But, and then, bro, and again, back down to being people of faith, everything I do, right, should be a reflection of Jesus, right? I mean, so it should be. And so therefore, if I'm not self-motivated, or if I'm not taking care of people, I'm not taking care of my family, not taking care of the people in my surroundings, am I truly doing a good job reflecting Jesus? I would challenge you if you think so. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps it.
I love it, brother. Man, appreciate you for being here, bro.
Man, on is mine. In the presence of legends, right here.
I appreciate it, man. Great conversation. Yeah. Even when I brought you on, man, I knew, just what we just did, man. I wanted to be able to give, again, we say guidance, attention, motivation, education. And again, we were able to touch on real estate. We were able to touch on upbringing. Yeah. Right? We were able to touch on motivation and vision and all those different things, man. So again, brother, just, from me to you, man, I appreciate who you are. Again, leader to leader, just seeing how you navigate your space, building a team and the energy that you bring, being a father, seeing you, at the baseball games with your little ones, you know what I mean? With the little, I don't know if I ever wear one of them things, little dad, little sacks with the kid in front. My man be wearing the little, what are those called? He wearing the little kid, little sack.
It's a satchel.
Satchel, whatever, man. I don't know if I ever do.
I don't even know what this is. Yeah. You get there, then you're gonna wear it with pride.
But no, man, all those things, man, that's just with it. We need more men like yourself in this community, man, to be able to be just that visualization of what, you know what I mean, a man should be. So I definitely appreciate you, brother, and like I said, appreciate you being here. But ask me. So, but before we go, do y'all have anything else y'all want to,
Nah. Oh, Brad. So just like Jay, when I first met him, it was like, bro, who is this guy? He brought him around. So like, bro, who is this guy? But then when, after getting to know him and hearing this story, to the core of who he is, saying, now knowing more of who you are, bro, you have no choice but to respect him and accept yourself. So definitely, man, I'm glad to hear your story and just, hear more about you and what you got going on. Mad respect, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, the honor is mine, really. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Hey, man. Even on December the 7th, so maybe having our community fun day, we would love to have the table team, have you guys come out, be a part of that day. If it's tabling, that's here, have you want to be a part, man, we'd love to have y'all be a part of that day. So that'd be a cool part to get in
December 7th.
And December 7th, man. So we'll get you more information on that. But how I do want to end this, well, before you go anywhere, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. All right. I know this man gonna have the whole locale, the whole table team, all his family watching this episode. So make sure y'all stop right and like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, leave a comment. Ricardo we had a great conversation. Tell us about what you think and just give us some feedback. But don't forget to smash that button. All right. Don't cost you anything. All right, but the way I want you to end this, you're gonna look into your camera, and you're just gonna give the people whatever you think they should have. You'll be the closing last words they hear, and just give them something. If motivation, if it's inspiration, if it's whatever you want it to be. But the floor is yours to close out.
Okay. All right, world. So maybe you saw Ricardo's on here, Big Head is on here, so maybe you're not going to watch. But if you are watching, here's what I would say to you. You've got the goods, you've got the capacity to be a world changer. Yeah, maybe the world as a whole, but your world, maybe that's the city of Ocala. You have the impact, you have the capacity to make a positive difference. Maybe you're watching from New York, South Bronx, Fox and Tiffany. You have the capacity, you have the goods to have impact, to make a difference, to serve, regardless of industry, regardless of your upbringing and your story. In fact, I'd say this, the story in which you're trying to forget, you regret, is the same story that God can use to make a difference in the life of somebody else that no one else can reach. Embrace it, own it.
Yes, sir.
Make a difference.
Sir. So own your greatness, man. We'll see y'all next time.